added sugar. It's 12, but this one has, let me see what this one has. Wow, this one has 19. Well, it ain't gonna kill me, but shit. And this one has 12, 12, 12, so, and that's with the sea salt. But that's what they, okay. It's not cane. It's the perversion of it. This is the cane. Which all of them should be made with. Well, anyway. That's the, it's supposed to be non-GM. It's supposed to be, let me see. Yeah, shit. Try to stay away from sugar as much as possible. Okay, so look, raspberry. Oh, that's so good. Oh, that's good. Eye infection. Oh wow, it's lagging. Here they go. The idiots. What's going on, everybody? So let me update you. If you already know, cool. But I'm going to share something with you might know. I know you saw my post. So they said the boat imploded. What troubles me the most is the fact that in Greece, you have a migrant ship with 700 people, men, women, and children, that drowned. And I don't know if the media started talking about it. I don't think so. I've been looking just to update, I don't get into the media. And not just that. While everybody's been focused on this damn Titan boat, this fake ass government, I keep telling y'all, went ahead and signed and okayed synthetic meat. And we know that fake Jews are the ones who are creating it. And I believe the first plant that's opening is in North Carolina. Next one is in Virginia and Florida. And we see these dumb Negroes who keep posting this stuff. They had a court hearing in The Hague, and no, stop paying attention to these idiots. Please stop paying attention to these idiots. Okay? I don't care about, again, I'm reiterate this. I don't care about who gets my information and builds on it. All right? But if y'all want to drag them, go right ahead. I have no problem. And they're not going to sit there and challenge me, because I'll invite them into the ring. Back bracing knee. Look, they don't know his hands are very strong. My hands are very quick. And they don't have the training. I don't care if they started training 3-4 years ago. It doesn't matter to me. I won't just sit there. I'm not going to yell and scream and all that little effeminate stuff. I'll fly out there and we can meet at the ring, call my people, and security, probably be a lot. But yeah. Other than that, yeah, I had the hat on. It was just too hot. Other than that, you know, those are a few devices that we're dealing with, and it's not disturbing now. I can't say that's disturbing. You know, y'all would think that because what I said earlier, that's just the reality of being man. I saw a beautiful video by a sister. I was going to share it. I did a duet with it, and I saved it. And there was a bunch of sisters saying, all women have to stop being so antagonistic and foolish. How can you look for a good man and then go outside to look for one, and you don't know how to be a good woman? And believe that a woman's supposed to accept you for how you are if you can't accept them for who they are. And there was a more on that diatribe, but I don't want to get into the man against woman nonsense, because, you know, we have people who are really broken, and regardless of the moral subjugation behind it, and the power that it could emit, and for everybody holding themselves accountable to change, to better themselves, because it's on both sides. Yeah, I don't want to get into that affair, because most people see it trifling as if they're perfect. And 99% of the women I've conversed with are the farthest from it. There are more men who are in better shape than there are women. And that's sad to say that. That's why y'all number us damn near 9-1 now, if y'all only slow down and take a look. But it is what it is. It used to be even. Women used to seek to bore in some of the greatest men. Well, I guess the Ashkenaz and all their little half-breed children and your ignorance has won that over. Sad state of affairs we're in. I love my sisters, but they bring a lot of bullshit with them. Trust me, firsthand. You know, accept me, and I'm gonna squeeze this little foolishness in. I'm not accepting that dumb shit. No. Well, and it's over. Well, bye. It's that simple. You know what I mean? Like, really level up, mature up. Whatever you went through in your past, let it go. Unless it's something like a relationship that was something that you know was beautiful, but it's another dynamic. If you feel the pain, if you not only know the stories, but you feel the pain. Oh, I know a lot of good women. No, don't get it twisted. Oh, no, I know a lot. Like I said, there's damn near 9-1 of us, of y'all. So, and for a reason. It's like in Twilight, when more vampires come, more of the tribe become werewolves. Ergo, if you know what that means. That's a South American term we use, because werewolves are only here, not in London, in Germany, and all them other foolish places. North Dakota, the Minutemen silos, very active right now. They're shipping nukes to a place that shouldn't be shipping them. This fictional ass government, this underground government, there's a second government with a second president and an army. Oh yeah. They want to bring war. I believe Goofy nutcase, I believe his job was to get as many people as possible, or put a poison out there that could probably pass. I'm saying it in my opinion. I'm not saying it's facts. No, we don't know. Well, most of them. I don't know what I can say to any of y'all. Y'all are so numbed and dead in the inside. Some of you are starting to walk in your light, Yehovah. But y'all feel like, oh, well, I'm going to throw this at you. It takes about 2 gallons to maybe 3 water, depending on what's going on in a conflict, about 2 to 3 gallons per person a day. How many of y'all have enough water the last 2 weeks? Hell, food to last 2 weeks. I'm talking about without refrigeration and freezer. Are you aware of the stuff I have in my freezer I could actually maintain by adding salt? Wouldn't raise my blood pressure per se. Well, most of the stuff in my freezer doesn't have to be in my freezer. It just extends the shelf life. Like my vegan waffles, oh man, I got hundreds of them. My fruits, a little vinegar and salt. Let them defrost, put it all in a little styrofoam cooler or a plastic one. I've got a few of them. Cool packs. They'll last a week or two. And I'd be fattening myself up for whatever's to come, as long as I got agua and minerals like lime, ginger, lemon, which those don't have to be in the fridge, and they've got about a 6-month shelf life. And garlic, which it's easy to grow. I just want to ask you guys, because I know that none of you, I'm not a prepper. I've always believed in having enough of stuff. I mean, if something blows up and then I have to go on to the next part of this exploration to come back and take care of the cleanup, then so be it. That's all I'm going to say to that. Let me go ahead and get to this. I'm just going to read two. I'm going to read a little. The Custodians of Time, the Navigator Who Crossed Ice Walls. As you can see, my eye is really bothering me. See, swollen. I was sitting here with heat on it because heat lowers your cortisol. Cold stops inflammation. I take cold showers because my back, my knee and stuff like that, and my wrists and all that. I still train regardless. And keep from having headaches. Cold water is phenomenal. But to lower the cortisol that rises because of pain, heat compress, hot showers and hot baths are the most important. So I always take a hot shower, very hot, when something like this happens, or my joints are really sore, to lower my cortisol, which goes up because the receptors, even though my pain tolerance is kind of high. And then after the hot shower, because I don't like all the poo-poo water getting in my pores, I go right, and I turn it all the way to cold. I'm talking about, you know me, y'all. All the time. Cold. And I got to be in that cold water 5 to 10 minutes. I have to be. It gets normal. And I just let it hit me. You know what I'm saying? And it's really good. If anybody donated, I haven't been looking at these screens. I appreciate you. I'll send some love and I'll shout you out if you donated. I appreciate it. It's a little slower. I know prices are doubled. But like I said, if it's $2 or $3, it's cool. It's whatever. I'm going to keep ordering these books. And if they go on a blaze of radiated fire, won't have at it. At least if some of you make it, you remember some of the things I am discussing or talking about. All right, let's get into this. I appreciate you guys. Love you all a lot. I know it sounds like hateful love, right? No, it's not. What do you expect from people in your family who are in their 50s or 60s? Would you expect the least from me? Especially when we're supposed to hold each other accountable and hold each other up. Something we were very good at one time. Yeah. Something we're very good at one time. Okay, let's get it in. All right. So let's go ahead. The Custodians of Time, Robbie Cottrell. We kill it, we save it, we rob, and we are robbed of it. We lose it, and it is with us everywhere we go. But none of us has the power to stop it marching or stop it. What is it? Who had the answer? Who had the answer last time? I want to know if anybody put up, hey, what's going on? Hey, what's going on? Nine Son, what's going on, beloved? Rondo, hey, what's going on, beloved? T. Hines, I hope y'all enjoyed that podcast last night. For those who tuned in, appreciate you. Mikey Hill, what's going on, beloved? Yes. Alicia and Cooper, beloved, how's it going? Tata High, what's going on, beloved? Road Dog, Snoo, what's going on, beloved? Anyway, how many of y'all got it? That's my brother. You remember. You remember. Always think about that. We kill it. We kill time. We save time. We rob time, and we are robbed of time. We lose time, and it is with us everywhere we go. But none of us has the power to stop time, or stop it marching, or stop it, period. The most powerful weapon we have is time. But what goes with time? Patience. I know it might sound like I'm very impatient. No, I am very patient. Yet I know that I can push. And that's the beautiful thing. So let's go ahead and read. It's the book cover. My apologies. All right. Dr. William Boulez, Professor Charlie Appleyard, and DCI Marcus Thomas looked at the man lying in the hospital bed with curiosity and suspicion. Now the patient, my eyes are a little bothersome, y'all. My apologies, okay? The patient had been brought to hospital by ambulance following a road traffic incident on the A2 at Dartford. This is England. He had long, fair, greasy, unclean hair down to the nape of his neck, lower back, and sported, that means I guess it went past, and sported a bedraggled beard. His skin was of darkened olive complexion, and he spoke with a Middle Eastern accent. Originally, Thomas had his suspicion. Excuse me, I was trying to fight the burp. My apologies, that's just like Lex Will. Suspicions. The man might be a terrorist, but quickly dismissed these thoughts because the stranger wore only a type of, check this out, loincloth beneath a filthy long robe about his torso. Nowhere to hide any weapons there, Marcus thought. Well, Marcus had been on the force. This left eye is messing with me, guys. Marcus had been on the force for over 25 years, and up until this morning, had never encountered such an outlandish case. He fidgeted uncomfortably in the hospital chair, feeling uneasy as the patient began speaking. You must realize, if just one moment in time was ever altered, everything thereafter must accordingly be adjusted, possibly bringing your own existence into question. Let me commence with this scenario. What if in the year 937, pay attention, if the combined enemies of King Athelstan managed to defeat your newly crowned king of a united England, the dreams of such an England would be forever lost, and the creation of a Daneland would have been forged. It would have been Danish. Now, the only Athelstan, the three men were aware of was from Bernard Cornwell's drama, The Last Kingdom, actually a pretty good book, a fictional television character concerning King Egbert and the Vikings. It's a small book too. And the patient looked at his interrogators with loathing. Are you all that ignorant of your past? He asked as he decided to continue with his narrative despite their joint unawareness. Okay, what if William the Bastard, the Duke of Normandy, had not been victorious over Harold Godwinson at Hastings back in 1066? England would probably have remained Anglo-Saxon. You have to believe me when I say, if Harold had lost the battle, your language and belief system would be radically different from that of today. And we actually read some notions based upon that with the 13th tribe, you know. Marcus Thomas looked blank, wondering what this man lying before him was talking about. And I can see his face now. One of those old fat English, you know what I mean? And noticing the awkward glances the three men gave each other, the patient tried, noticing the awkward glances the three men gave each other, the patient tried a different tack. What if Oliver Cromwell and his Puritans failed in their attempts to eliminate King Charles from the throne of England? So we know King Charles was gotten rid of and very, you know what I mean? His grand title of Lord Protector, okay, would never have been created. You have to believe me when I say I have no favoritism on this matter, one way or the other. But sadly, this sorry affair exists whether I like it or not. Now let me now ask you to mull over one of England's most discussed scenarios, which is possibly one of the most argued events. It leaves French scholars deeply divided, and I talk about what the world is going on here. The so-called Battle of Waterloo. Y'all should know about the Battle of Waterloo, right? Unfortunately, my friends, there was no such confrontation at Waterloo. It took place at Mount St. Jean. So, the Battle of Waterloo. You hear that? If you will allow me, I will attempt to clear up this misunderstanding. In the month of June 1815, there was a small holding on the Charleroi-Bruxelles road named Mount St. Jean Farm. It stood midway between the edge of an escarpment and the village of Mount St. Jean. Joan of Arc. Victor Hugo, in his novel entitled Les Miserables, clearly describes a massive French cavalry attack on the British infantry squires, situated on the reverse slope of the escarpment during the height of the battle. How could such a misunderstanding arise, and where did the location of such a battle take place? Check this out. The conclusion is relatively simple, my friends. Following Wellington and Field Marshal Blücher's glorious victory in a muddy field in Belgium, Wellington returned to his lodging house in the nearby town of Waterloo. He had gone there to finalize his reports before they were conveyed to London. And Inspector Marcus Thomas turned to Bill Bullis and took a massive intake of breath that lifted his shoulders, as if to say he knew nothing of what the patient was saying. His knowledge of history just about covered World War II, and that's about it. And Marcus tried to ascertain the patient's name again, but he guessed that his patient would not be answered, and he assumed he would be informed only when the man declared the time to be right. But at present, the patient continued with his ramblings, and Thomas had to remain patient. He was still thinking where the battle took place, when, without prior warning, the patient raised his index finger directly towards Marcus's face. Marcus startled for a few seconds as the question swiftly came forth from the unknown man's lips. What if Wellington had been defeated? Might England be part of a much larger French empire? Possibly one that included India, Pakistan, Gibraltar, Malta, Australia, New Zealand, and many others? What if the vision of a French empire stretched further afield to include the likes of North America and South America, European countries such as Germany? Might the devastation caused by 2 world wars been averted? You see, what might happen if one Anglo-Saxon English king had died in Bornberg? Appleyard, Bullis, and Thomas sat and bemused. All 3 men failed to fully understand what was being said. Now, I now wish to think upon the languages. You, like me, are aware of regional differences in dialect. Don't you find it fascinating as to where these differences originate? It is interesting that the word dialect is French in origin. It is. Dialect is a French word. It is interesting that the word dialect is French in origin, which your Oxford English Dictionary confirms. Now, the word is derived from a variety of languages which is peculiar to a specific region, especially one which differs from the standard of literacy of a language in respect to vocabulary, pronunciation, and idioms. Surely, this is a perfect explanation. I need to turn this off. Mine's still the same. It's unnecessary. Now, Marcus Thomas was becoming ever more frustrated and agitated. To have history rammed down his throat was not his idea of having fun, so he decided to interrupt the stranger. What the bloody hell are you talking about, man? I'm not going to do the accents. Look, I need to know if there was anyone else inside the vehicle when it crashed on the A2. Now, the patient completely ignored Inspector Marcus's outburst and continued as if nothing or nobody had interrupted him. Are you aware that a high percentage of English words have French origins? This is probably in no small part due to the Duke of Normandy's victory at Hastings. Besides words, you will also realize you are all part of German and Scandinavian culture. Following William's victory at Hastings in 1066, the French and English courts agreed to speak the congenital language as spoken in France when King Henry V was crowned in 1413. He proclaimed English to be thereafter the customary language of England and Wales. However, certain phrases remained French in nature. Prince Regent, heir apparent, and Princess Royal retained their French and Norman origins, whereby the adjective is placed after the noun. It is interesting to note that the words tongue and language have Proto-German persuasions, and over time, these words, among others, have adopted the silent letter syndrome. In this case, the G is silent. Wow. Silent letters are extremely rare in the French and German languages, yet your English language is awash with them, making it one of the hardest languages to learn. And after Henry's victory at Agincourt, Henry reasserted his claim over the French throne. Now, the Treaty of Troyes, negotiated and signed by the French King Charles VI and King Henry V of England, assured Henry that he would be the rightful heir to the French throne. This agreement was sealed at the same time Henry was betrothed in marriage to the French king's youngest daughter, Catherine de Valois. Now, I received information that an unknown member of our order was considering to adjust history by reversing the outcome of Agincourt. This would have been highly dangerous. Just think of the devastating effects this might have had on your future. We custodians would never breach the rules of such activities. Now, Marcus Thomas swiftly realized the catastrophe of changing history, what it could do and bring. And Bullis stared into Thomas's vacant face and swallowed hard. Is he one of your lot, Marcus? He asked. And what does that mean, Marcus? He yelled. A bloody Freemason? The stranger was confused. He failed to comprehend the desperation of Bullis' face or the root cause of their argument. Why should they fight amongst themselves? He questioned himself. And Marcus had been verbally hurt by his friend's comments, and he tried to sustain his argument regardless of the wounds they might inflict. Unfortunately, I must tell you that a few have tried, albeit in vain, to reverse your unwarranted victory of our muddy fields of Agincourt. Now, the French were superior in numbers, whereas the English were cruelly decimated by disease and starvation. As they attempted to flee with their tails between their legs back to their channel outposts in Calais, King Henry, however, either through fate or luck, controlled the battle, principally through the skill of his bowmen. It was the deadly bodkin arrow. Wow, those bodkin arrows are fabulous arrowheads, combined with the atrocious weather conditions that turned an unlikely English victory into a glorious triumph the world has ever witnessed. That is some real history, y'all. Y'all should really look into that. Now, I'm going to go ahead and cut this short because the next half before the next passage, which is about 15 pages, we're going to stop it right there, and we'll pick up at Agincourt. I love reading stuff like this. My eyes give me problems. I'm doing my best not to strap y'all on with it, but it's burning a little bit. It felt like there was a hair stuck up in there, but I flipped my eyelid back, took the Lord's card that I have for spider bee stings and stuff, and gently with the sap. There's nothing there because I would have felt it either way. So I think it's just irritated. I believe I probably slept, but my eyes don't close all the way. And I did sleep on my left side, facing the north. Not facing the north, but on my left side in the direction of the north. And I slept hard like that until this one meowed me at about 3:43 or 4 o'clock. And then my eye was going crazy. Okay. Yes. The navigator who crossed the ice wall. I'm trying not to rub it because it'll start burning real bad. The navigator who crossed the ice walls, worlds beyond Antarctica. Nos confundum. I love when I look at where we're supposed to be at with the Pacific Ocean, and then you see the ancient lands of Anak, the Anak Ocean, the Ancestral Republic. Then you see the Rhodes Ocean. Oh my goodness. Talos, Ados, Argos. It just gets Free Island, Shangri-La, Area. It's just, oh man, the map is just fabulous. Anyway, let's go ahead and get in here. Excuse me. Oh, my apologies. So here we are at Anakin, chapter 6, Anakin, the giants of the South. And here's the book cover. Okay. And then this is Claudio Nicoli. I'll put it close enough where you can see. And he's a Spaniard, Espanol. Spaniard. Kind of reminds me of our brother Kiramil. Kiramil is much more handsome though. Don't worry, brother. You up here. He is of Spain. So, chapter 6, Anakin, the giants of the South. Now you might start realizing Star Wars, the Anakins, Luke Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Metachlorians, the ether, the force, the energy around you. You know what I'm saying? Jesus. The sap, my eyes are watering. So if it's watering, yeah. And it's swollen. That's why it's been, I don't know, I think it might have been messed up the other day too. So let's get into it. Oh yeah. Stunned by what had happened and still not fully understanding the dramatic situation that was taking place in these lands, many images crossed my mind. Now you remember they were just attacked, okay? We'll be mindful of that. Surely derived from the fear and helplessness of seeing the suffering of my new brothers before my eyes, there were people on the ground under the dust and rubble, like the tragically famous Sodom and Gomorrah. Enemy crossfire could be heard in the distance. I saw innocent people die that day. Everything was getting out of control in just a few moments. We watched the sky full of small silver spheres with red lights that followed the whole scene. I was not sure if they were from the Republic or enemies, but there they were, without missing anything of the gloomy scene. We ran, trying to help those we were crossing on the way, but the reality is that we had to leave the boat as soon as possible. We were all going in different directions, and the voice that before tried to calm us down now gave orders that were almost pleas to go urgently to the building of the presidential office, reenactor. That's what we did. Those who were left standing in the middle of a rain of debris and some detonations, mind you. Anguish and anger fell on me like lightning in the ocean. I raised my eyes to the sky, begging for some kind of mercy. The sky was in a furious red tone. I could observe that the sun's glow did not burn my sight. It had a dark tone, and what I thought was the moon stood out in the distance in a totally black color, as in the middle of an eclipse. I thought then that it was the strangest sky that anyone from the known lands had ever witnessed. Added the strange spheres that danced in the air in all directions. They were like silver eyes observing everything. And the next question resounded inside me immediately after. Who was controlling these small objects? And what was their function? As far as I could see, in the midst of it all, none of them were performing any attack maneuvers. Now, the situation at the time was really heartbreaking. The building was intact and I could enter without major problems. Although, For obvious reasons, there had been some turmoil at the entrance. Anyway, and despite the existing fear, people respected each other in an extraordinary way. I cannot even imagine the chaos that could mean a similar situation in my homeland. I had lost the whole group in desperation under enemy fire, and I felt concerned for the others, and with the responsibility by experience in the Continental Navy to put myself at their disposal to help in some way to the city that had just received us in the best way and now suffered the onslaught of an enemy still invisible. The wounded numbered in the thousands. There were so many equipped rooms that in the face of such an attack of dimensions never seen in my humble wartime past, I was shocked. I tried to find the team, but it was impossible. I could not even recognize one of them. The people who were there in the different corners of this huge building looked at me with some suspicion. And I was a newcomer from other lands, and with me had also come a fierce and fatal attack that would leave at least a quarter of the city destroyed. That's a very big city, huh? I tried to go through the different floors without getting lost and to find the office of Presidential Fayel. I needed to talk urgently with a high command. I wanted to satisfy my many questions about the enemy, and I wanted to put myself at his orders. This attack was not going to be one like any other. It had touched my heart in so much that I felt equally part of these lands, as much as the others who suffered at my side, as if my blood had been born here long ago. Now, to my surprise, I found Fayel, and with a face of extreme concern with Captain Butler. I called his name without being able to wait to arrive among so many people around, and Butler performed a kind of typical military salute from afar, and without losing customs, I was glad to see a familiar face, and it generated me confidence among so much atypical war man, excuse me. I saluted Fayel as best I could, with a faltering voice, who said everything with his melancholic look. He showed to be depressed by the situation, which was not for less. I put myself under his orders to help in what he needed and required in such a situation. Now, Fayel thanked the gesture, but commented that there was nothing we could do but wait for the moment. Although in a failed way, I tried again to deposit my many questions the moment deserved in it my mind, but Fayel was in a heated conversation in a kind of tiny communicator, where the other voice repeated constantly, and the following was clearly heard. We are requesting support from the Anakin. We have no choice, Fayel. This was a planned attack to destroy a civilian and secure area. There is no turning back. Butler turned back to me with a typical look of leadership, reinforcing my idea that what I had heard, are they talking about what I imagined? And I asked Butler lowly. He nodded his head. They are the giant warriors of the South. Mr. Williams. Fayel heard him and blurted out a sentence that left me even more intrigued. Not only that, they are the saviors of our people, the ones who led us to these lands before the reset of our time. He then commented to Butler that he should leave, but to do what was needed, and quickly return to his office with 3 agents following him. Now, Butler asked me to follow him, and so I did as best I could among thousands of agents coming and going. Another attack was feared. War was brewing on the very land we had only set foot on a few hours before. Now, the captain told me that it was time to rest before embarking on a new journey in another destination. I stared at him as if expressing my fear again. Besides, I was not sure if our ship was still standing. I could hear explosions outside, and it was then when I thought to ask, where would this destination be and the reason for it? Was it something that Fayel had requested? Oh, man. He explained to me that it was not exactly Fayel's plan, but at the moment required it. He would go to look, it was something already established. He would go look for the team first to gather them here, And once they were all here, we would undertake a unique trip to the Anakin lands. But first, we would pass by their homes. I was stunned trying to digest these words. I wanted to have said so many things, but my voice barely made a sound that made no sense in any language. And Butler then clarified, in case it was necessary before my desperate way of expressing myself. I'm sorry, I couldn't tell you sooner, William. I am as much a part of these lands as anyone else you see suffering here. So he was from there. I was born with the ancestral blood, and I am watching my brothers die. Apparently, they want to repeat history even in these lands. It is time to save again the only humanity that has survived a custodial reset. They know all history, right? Now you see why I'm reading it. And who can save us all? Who better than the very ones who helped cross the ice walls back then? Butler then marched off and got lost among the agents waiting outside. I lay down on the most comfortable bed my body had ever been in, intending to sleep. But who was going to sleep after all I had been through? How would my reason process so much information from a human story never told? How could I not see the eyes of my new brothers falling in pain and not feel that we were on the right side and that we had escaped from a sinister place that I used to call home? These feelings hit my chest with a resentment and deep venom. I would want at that moment to open the doors to the innocence we were leaving behind, to the loved ones of the known lands. And chapter 7 tomorrow will be the disease of the human being. That's powerful. God dog, man. I love this. I love this story. It's just, it's phenomenal. It's magnificent. Well, I hope you all enjoyed that read. My eye is starting to tingle. So I'm going to put some more doodap in it and cover it. Yes, I have a one eye patch. And I'm going to cover my eye, and I'm going to lay my head down so I don't get no headache. Yeah, it's bothersome. You can see it's red, and it's a little swollen, and I shouldn't be doing that, but it's sap and the tearing, which is good. It's cleansing. But let me go ahead and see who else came in here. Time and patience. You're not slipping, hon. What was that? Let me see. I'm sorry, y'all. I gotta hit the screen. Hey, Alicia, beloved. I think I got you, didn't I? Anyway, so no problem saying it again. Same thing with the Battle of Saratoga. Yeah, same thing with the Battle of Saratoga. Exactly. Unknown man or a sentient being from ether lands. Well, the custodian plays, when we think of the Satan character, and I'm not saying he's real or not. Maybe there's many. What I'm saying is, and the custodians of time, well, the resetters who fought the Anakin and made a pact with them. Just keep listening to me read. I'm not going to sit here and spoil alerts. If you didn't go back and watch, if you forgot something, you don't remember, it's a little deeper than that because I'm reading other books. You got to remember the Hathors. You got to remember the Anunnaki, the Garden of Eden, all that stuff. Everything is puzzle pieces. Hey, Andy Rilla, beloved, what's going on? I appreciate you guys. Yeah, you guys don't have to break your pocket. Whatever you donate, 2, 3, 4, I get all that. When you hit the super chat, like a few people had before, they take 40% of that. I don't want to give them nothing. They're already taxing. We don't pay taxes. This shows you that they're an ignorant group of individuals. I'm not here to bash them. I'm just saying, but it's part of the gimmick. So again, you don't have to break your pockets. I appreciate the donations, and I order tons of books. So hopefully, I said that next week I should be receiving all those books. Because as a matter of fact, I had to put, what is it at? It's only I'm not going to unplug it. It's at 50%. It's slow charging. It's not the actual charge line, but it's a good one. So, but yeah, it said, it gave me a notification that it'll be next week, supposedly next Thursday or Friday. Those 12 books. So that's going to be a beautiful thing. I'm just going to show y'all the box and the books in it. I'm not going to, I'm going to leave them there's so many books. I'm just going to leave them in the box. And when it gets time to read, break one of them, after I go through them. If I decide to just share something, a certain quatrain or something, here I go with quatrain, a certain paragraph or statement in one of the books, I will share that book with you in that way. I've already told you the books that I ordered. And I've got it was 50, it's about 62 books now that yeah, I keep going over there looking for other books, you know. Somebody suggested a book to me, and it wasn't my boy Big Jurors. Who was it? It was, you know what? My dumb ass. It was one of the only Dorches I like, Jeffrey Dorch. He passed away in 2015 or something. Me and him chatted all the time. Love Jeffrey Dorch. That is one of my best. But he was an older guy. He was older too. I think he graduated class of 79. I was 84. He went to the military, and me and him, he laughed. He loved how I was hitting everybody. Now his brothers, they're kind of retarded. They think they're some bad butts. But anyway, I went into, and it was still there, the books he suggested, and I went ahead and found it on Amazon and one thrift books. So one's coming from thrift book, and the one on Amazon, I just left that with the books that I've been adding. You know, y'all saw me order like a couple books over the last couple of weeks that I said I'm gonna get this one today, and I just paid for it. That way you don't have to. It's not half and half. But like I said, whatever y'all give, I'm gonna match it. If it's, I know it's not gonna be all 50, 60s, whatever books. It's whatever the amount we acquire and whatever I match it with. It's the books that'll be purchased, whether it's 7, whether it's 6, whether it's 8, whatever it is, whether it's 10. Okay. But I appreciate y'all. I'm sitting roughly right now around a smack load of box by my air purifier. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 24, one of my favorite. Y'all know I've been all through this mug. I took a lot of the tabs out. This one, Finding the Mother Tree. Oh, this is yeah. Don't worry about that. Finding the Mother Tree, Discovering the Wisdom of the Forest, Suzanne Simard. Pooh-wee! Man, Finding the Mother Tree promises to change our understanding about what is really going on when a tree falls in the forest and other pressing mysteries about the natural world. It completely overturns my view of nature. Kristen Olson, New York Times bestseller. This is a New York Times bestseller, mind you, and it's exceptional read. I did my best not to mark this book up because it's pretty old. Anyway, utterly compelling. That it compelled me, and I'm still reading it again. Intimate, absorbing, engaging, and the science is solid, and the author's overreaching theme of stewardship is clear, understandable, and necessary. Very much. I would love to sit down with the women and read this to the women alone. Phenomenal. Y'all would be disastrous. But y'all, it would click something in you. Galvanizing, a masterwork of planetary significance. We know what planetary means, right? For anyone who simply enjoys a walk in the woods and wonders what makes the forest work, phenomenal. Yeah, it cost a penny. Yeah. So anywho, I appreciate you guys taking the time. And threatened a man blowing a car horn at me once. Jeffrey Dorch was my brother. Yeah. So yeah, he actually suggested a few books. So he knew when I was on the res, that's how I was on the res. He was like, man, you read a lot, Red. I'm like, yeah, I know. He said, she was like that in the library. I was like, I know it. And it stuck. You know what I mean? So excuse the I and the fact that I use both when I read, that perception, and you know what I mean? So my apologies. Stumbling a little bit, but anyway, let me get off of here because I'm about love. You know, I love you, my sisters. Y'all the power we need. The charge, the solar panel. My brothers, we're the right hand. We're the gods, not of God, of the Creator. Yes, let's say yes. Damn right. with a right hand, with a hammer, with a sickle, with a sword, with a saber. All right? With a goddamn cannon. Remember that. Appreciate you all. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna be the real Davy Jones Locker seafarer now, because I'm about to put the old pirate patch on this damn thing. It's gotta heal up, y'all.